All right, here we go. Welcome to episode 19 of the Play Pants podcast, brought to you by Pirates of the Quarter Tours in New Orleans and Lucky's Pub West in the great city of Houston, Texas. Man, Rod got a great email about, do you want to see a set list before you go to a concert or not? Man, well, this is a great question I think we got here that we're going to get into in just a couple of minutes. And one of the most amazing hacks I've ever heard of. I cannot wait to get into this. This is unbelievable. This is genius level stuff.
MTV turned 40 over the weekend. The actual channel did not recognize anything about it, but we're going to reminisce. So we'll talk about some great MTV moments, what it meant to us, and then we'll work that into a top 5 classic MTV videos. And as always, it's our favorites.
And then I was perusing the interwebs and I found this article about things getting more difficult after you turn 40 years old. Now, Rod and I are both, looking way back in the rearview mirror at 40. So we might have some interesting advice on turning 40 and after 40. And it's not all bad stuff. There's good things that happen after you're 40.
Not your pee flow.
Let's go. It's time. Put on Play Pants.
All right, welcome in, everybody. I'm Rod Ryan. That's Jason Ginty. And again, you don't look like you're in your normal setting, your cool little rock man cave where you normally do the podcast. Ginty, world traveler, where are you now?
Dude, I wish I could get back there. Actually, no, I don't, because I'm at the beach again, right? Now, a couple of weeks ago, we did the podcast, and I was at the beach, the wife, the kid, and me. And this time, it's the big family gathering for the summertime. So it's all my wife's family. I'm in a house with 12 different people. There's kids from the age of 1. My son, there's a couple other girls. There's a lot going on here, a lot of family things. So there may be interruptions. There may be slamming in. There may be screaming, crying, yelling. So this might be an interesting podcast today. But I'm in my quarters. And Rod, hold on. And if you got to watch this on YouTube.
We get to look at your room again. Okay, please, let me see.
You got to see this. Now, my head's in the way right now, but there's this.
Why don't I see a seashell? If you're at the beach, I feel like there should be some sort of a starfish or a seashell or some. Is that a driftwood mirror?
No, it's weird because every time I've been to the beach, I've bitched about how people always throw seashells everywhere. We've talked about this many times.
What you're supposed to do?
Yeah. Finally, I get a place that they didn't decorate like that. They've just decorated sort of normally. Remember when you watched the great movie at Christmas time, Christmas Vacation, right?
Yes.
Chevy
absolutely.
Chase, everyone's seen it 100 times. The next door neighbors. Why is the carpet wet, Todd? Margot and Todd. Remember the neighbors?
They were all like
Margot. They were all like really hip and cool and stuff. Well, I think they decorated our place. Hold on, I gotta move my shit a little bit. Look at this. This is above my bed. Okay, I know it's hard to see, and I'll describe it. It's like 2 like retro 80s looking weird blonde mohawks, and it looks like they're kind of in a compromising position. And
Dude, you know who that looks like?
It's kind of
like. Remember Amy Mann, the singer?
Oh yeah.
It looks like Amy Mann, actually.
It's weird. It's fucking weird. It's like this modern art thing. It's very bizarre. I don't know.
Amy Mann is the only person I think that ever guest vocaled on a Rush song. If you remember the song Time Stands Still, and there's a chick singing.
Love that song.
That's Amy Mann. And
really,
I heard her in an interview, and she just said at the time she didn't know that she was going to be the only person to ever collab with Rush. Rush never, they did that Max Webster song, but they never like brought people in. They never just had guest vocalists or anything. And Amy Mann has that distinction, I think, of being the only one.
God, I love that song too. So anyway, the place is very modern, but it's been cool because I've been surfing, paddleboarding, fishing, doing the beach stuff. And I wanted to ask you this about vacations, okay? And I think we've talked about this a little bit before. Like, when you go on a vacation, like you go to London, you go to Paris, you go on those sites, you're sightseeing and you're working and you're seeing shit constantly. When you go to the beach, are you the type of guy that's like, I got to be on the beach, sun up to sundown all day as much as possible? Or do you like go shopping? Do you do other shit?
I do a mixture of both. I'm not good at laying around and doing nothing. Right. I can't stand it. I can't, even when I go to Vegas with dudes, Like they want to lay around in the morning and they don't want to get moving until like noon and then maybe make it down to the pool. So me, dummy, we're up drinking all night. I will be up. Now this is sleeping in, you know this. I'll be up at 6 in Vegas and I'll just start walking. Yep. And I'll just go because it's cool now. You can walk from all the casinos. You can go from casino to casino and not really go outside if it's really hot. Right. But if it's not too hot, I'm on the street. I'm out there walking around. I cannot just lay around and sit. Not on vacation. I mean, if I'm sitting around, 30 minutes goes by. I'm like, no. This is vacation. This stinks.
Yeah. No. I mean,
I'm not a good relaxed guy. My wife is kind of annoyed with me in that point. I mean, she really thinks that. She loves going, go. She, we did that a bunch of times, but now she's a little bit more, hey, when we go somewhere, we're just going to kind of chill, right? I'm like, no. We got
to get shit done. Like even me, like 6 a.m., I'm fishing with my kid. Then I come back, I'll go run. Then I go back, set all the shit up on the beach. Got to set all the shit up, 90 chairs, tents, umbrellas, and towels, and all that shit. So I'm kind of involved in that. And then I'll paddleboard for a while. My kid is surfing now. So there's all this other shit. So yeah, I don't just sit on the beach and fucking watch birds fly around. I'm doing shit all day. Yeah, I'm
not good with that. I mean, even when we go to Jazz Fest, it's just like an all day thing, but I got to walk around, man. I don't just sit there. I got to walk around, see the other stages. I got to move. I got to see what's going on out there.
We had a quick thing, man. I was talking to a couple of people here at the beach and it got into a very odd question. Cause when you go to the beach, you're always rinsing off the sand. You're washing sunscreen off. So you're showering a lot more. So this question comes up. When you take a shower, Rod, and I'm going to ask you first, because you're the one I'm talking to.
Yeah, I think I'm the only one here.
Pretty much. I hear a lot of voices in my head, so that's why we do it this way. When you take a shower, do you wash your feet every single time? Are you like an 80% wash your feet guy, 90% wash your feet guy, 100% wash your feet guy? Get on there.
50-50. I'm 50-50. I'm 50-50, meaning half of my showers. Every other shower, I probably get down there and wash the feet. I mean, there's so much soap and water going down there.
It just autopilots it. Just running down there. You're standing in it. It's close enough.
Isn't the funk coming off? I don't know. Yeah. I mean, do you wash your feet every time?
No, I'm probably a 65% guy. And now I'm freaking myself out because like that conversation happened 2 days ago. I'm washing my feet now every time. And I don't know, there's no medical behind it. It was just a weird question that was floating around. I was like, I got to throw that one out there. Do you wash your feet every time you shower?
Here's the follow-up. Here's the follow-up. In the shower, now you're on the spot.
Great.
Do you face the water or does the water come down on the back of your neck? Which way do you stand in the shower?
Wow, that's really I kind of both. Like I don't just stand there. I mean, I'm putting the work in. I got things to clean. I'm both. I don't just stand there and chill.
I am 90% facing away from the water. 90% really? Of my shower, I'm facing away.
You know why? Sensitive bits are on the front. Sensitive bits. That water gets a little bit. I got some decent pressure here at the beach. And
I mean, when I'm doing this and this and this and this, and the water is coming on it's hitting the back of my neck.
Yeah.
90% of my shower, I'm facing away from the water.
I think that's a lot of people, but now they got those cool showers with like the rain that comes straight down.
Those are cool.
So, I mean, I like the ones where you can remove the handle and you can like do the tank.
Nah, those are overrated.
I know it feels good. It feels good, especially when you get right on the back of the bag.
I went in. I used it once or twice. I'm like, you get the undercarriage. You think it's good. It's like, it's not that good. They just let it sit there.
It feels so fresh. It's so fresh though, man. Afterwards, I'm like whistling when I walk.
More questions, dude. I'm not done. Let's get into it. Carlos Lizama listens to the podcast. And he said, hey, what's up, Rod? Hey, Jason, I got an interesting question for you guys. As concert goers, when you go to a concert, do you like to see the set list before you go, or do you like to go without knowing what they're going to play and possibly be surprised? Ooh. Well, Carlos, number one, I appreciate you listening to the podcast. Thank you. Yeah, it's a pretty great question because I just went to a concert. Last week.
Wow, that's a good question.
I went to the Hella Mega show, Hella Mega tour.
Oh, yeah, nice.
it was Weezer, it was Fall Out Boy, and it was Green Day. And I cannot tell you how amazing it was. Of course, everybody's, hella spreader and blah, blah, blah. And then there was a lot of memes about Lollapalooza this past weekend. And
right.
I'll tell you what, I've always talked about my wife and I, the decision for our family was to be vaccinated. Was it the smartest thing to go to that concert? No, but man, was it fucking awesome? Yes. My wife does not know bands and music, doesn't know, I can't quiz her on anything, but she's standing there and knows all these songs. And I'm like, she's loving it, and Fall Out Boy was great. So I run into my boss, Radio Wizard, and he whips out the set list, because he's got inside information, and I wanted to know where. I thought it was cool having that knowledge while the set was on. And then I looked at Green Day because they were on last. And I'm not going to stay for the whole show because it's going late and it's during the week. So I know where to duck out. So I really enjoyed having that set list. That was a benefit to me. I don't actively seek them out, but it just hit me this Thursday that I had that set list. You don't strike me as a guy that goes online before you go to a show and see what they've been playing at other shows.
Yeah. See, here's the thing. You need to know this about me, Rod. I am that guy. And I hate that I do it.
I didn't know that.
I don't like that I do it. I don't like that. It's like finding out your presents before Christmas morning, in a way. I don't do it all the time.
Okay, so you're not a religious addict about it, that you have to know, oh my God, on this tour, they're doing this, this, and this. Because we all know people that do that.
Right. But I'll look up when the Foo Fighters are on, right? And for Jazz Fest, they're playing here in New Orleans. So I'll go on and kind of peruse what they've been doing the last couple of shows and be like, okay, cool. This is going to be great. And then I do that so that I can have some inside information. I don't say anything to anyone around me. I want them to be surprised. But it's like, okay, I could have a little more input into if someone asks me a question, oh, that's that song, or oh boy, you think they're going to play this? I don't know, and then kind of give the old wink and yeah, probably. But the surprise thing is the best. The surprise thing is the best because that's why you're there. You're there to be surprised. You're there to, and they're going to play your favorite song. Chances are, if it's a hit, But I do it. I suck. I hate that I do it.
If somebody presents it to me, I'm all about it. But I don't actively seek them out. I really don't. If somebody, there's no doubt in my mind if somebody says, "Hey, I got their set list right here."
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I want to see it.
Yeah,
I want to see it. But I don't go track those down. If you're looking for a website, setlist.fm, they call themselves the Setlist Wikipedia.
They're great.
You can see everybody's set list.
They're awesome.
You can go back in history. They do a great job. And there's other websites too, but I think setlist.fm is a really, really good one. So I don't actively seek them out. But if somebody wants to talk about it, and I seem to always find that guy that is super nerdy, and I do want him to share his nerdiness with me. I like that. You're right. It's great to sometimes be surprised by a song here or there, but I'd rather know. And now that I'm actually verbalizing it and talking about it, I might start looking up set lists before I go. Never really thought to do it.
I won't do it
until this email.
It's like the bigger bands, I'll do it. But like I saw the Stones at the Dome a couple of years ago, and it's the first time I ever saw them. I'm like, man, if they're going to sit there and play 10 new songs, I'm not going to spend whatever it is, $200, or it's expensive to see the Stones. But if they're going to dig into some old stuff, maybe some B-sides, maybe some deeper cuts, then I want to see. And then I looked at that list and I was like, shit, yeah, that's a great list. I'm definitely going to that, I hate that I do it. I still hate it, but I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to do it again. But I don't know. It's one of these weird things I wrestle with. Should I look? Nah, I'm not going to look. Then I do it anyway.
If it's something,
I can't stop.
Again, so Hella Mega Tour, it's on Thursday. I got to get up. I mean,
that's different.
Be there. I can't be there. So I need to know where to duck out. Okay. What song I really want to see this song. And then boom. Okay. You know what? Let's bail on this. Right. Oh, I'm going to miss Time of Your Life. I'm sure it's going to be pretty emotional. They closed with Time of Your Life. I thought, and I said it on the radio, I get it. It's a huge song, but I want to go out with pow, 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 pow. Like that's how I want you to fucking leave the stage.
Right.
I don't want Billy Joe Armstrong, Time of Your Life. And everybody said, Rod, F you weren't there. You didn't see it. It was a moment. And I said, okay, shut me up. I wasn't there. You're right. I was always critical of your boys, Van Halen, closing with Jump.
Every fucking time.
Every fucking time. And I know it's your biggest song, but don't go close with Unchained or something if you got Roth up there, or you got all these great Sammy songs. Don't close with Jump. I thought it was the worst. I'm telling one of the great rock and roll bands of all time that you closed with a shitty song your whole career.
I never understood, like, you rehearse all these songs, just fucking juggle the list every night or every couple nights. I know you got your light show and your bullshit and all your choreography, even with a rock band, you got your bullshit.
There's too much. There's too much at hand.
It's
like a play.
You can change it up. Come out and play Jump first. Get it out of the way. And then guys like us will be like, fuck, what are they going to play to close with? Then then I got a night ahead of me. Then I'm like, okay, they got that out of the way,
Am I crazy? Am I making this up right now? Did Dave Grohl come out when you and I and Hank, your son, at Voodoo, did he open with Everlong?
Oh, shit. I don't think so. It seems like a bold
I feel
move.
like he came out with something and he just blew our socks off.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
I don't, because he still kind of saves that towards the end. That still comes up late. I mean, for obvious reasons, and they make jokes about it.
Out though.
Yeah, and he'll come out and start out just him and play it slow, and then it just builds throughout the song, which I'm sure they'll do in a couple months here in New Orleans.
So, dude, I don't know if you saw this or not. And I told Jason when we were kind of getting ready for the podcast, I said, dude, there's something that I want to mention on this. I didn't get a chance to talk about it on the radio show here in Houston. So I'm talking about this for the very first time. But Lollapalooza was last weekend, right? Foo Fighters,
that
Chicago.
That great picture where it looks like there's 10 billion people shoved into a shoebox that goes around that you've seen everywhere. It looks scary as shit.
That picture is awesome. Yeah. Now you look at that picture and you're like, man, that looks scary, And
I'm not talking about COVID or anything. I'm just talking about that's a fucking lot of people. That's a lot of people. I'm like, I could be in the middle of that. And I've been in the middle of that 100 times. And so have you. And looking at that picture, I'm like, what if I got to take a piss? What if there's a fire?
So I've been there. I've been to Chicago. It's in Grant Park. And I've been to Lollapalooza. It was when Soundgarden first got back together. And I was thinking, if these guys don't get along, I'm going to see them just in case, So I went to go see Soundgarden. So I go to Chicago to Lollapalooza.
Jeez.
So it's in a park, meaning it's a public park. Now, Lollapalooza, I'm sure they have to set up, and this, if there's a stage and you got to put a perimeter in there and you got to run lines and you've got to get porta potties, I bet you it takes probably 2 weeks to set that up. Maybe more. But a guy on Twitter, and I'll tweet this out on our Twitter at Podpan or at Playpants Pod. A guy had the greatest concert hack I've ever seen. Have you seen this story?
No, I haven't.
Okay. You can't do this. We have the Woodlands Pavilion here. That's always closed off. You can never get in there. It's not an open park. It's a designated concert venue. You can't get in there.
Right.
But the difference, and the only reason why it works at Lollapalooza is because it's a park. So 3 weeks early, you're on those grounds and you're just kind of hanging out where the concert is.
Yeah, you're playing hacky sack with your buddies.
Okay. So my hero in this story, 3 weeks before the concert, buries a bottle of vodka. Damn. Unbelievable.
Brilliant.
Unfucking believable. He buries a bottle of vodka in the park.
Wow.
Not deep that he's got to needing a shovel or anything like that, but he knows he's got his little treasure map. He knows exactly where it is. He's guessing where everything is, where you don't want to put that sucker under the stage. Guess what? Bye-bye vodka. So right. He's been there before, so he knows the layout. So he puts his vodka, he buries it, and then he gets the camera out and they videotape him and he gets his bottle of vodka, unearths it. They said that bottle of vodka is worth somewhere around $200 to $250 in a festival like that.
Oh shit. Yeah. Cause you're paying all that money for drinks. Oh my God.
Yep. So now you're going and we've done this before. And I don't know who's listening to this thing yet, but for years, I've always snuck alcohol into Jazz Fest, you know?
Everybody does.
Everybody does. You sneak some beers in. Right when they came out, we were going to Jazz Fest. Jason and I were going to Jazz Fest before those collapsible, foldable chairs that came in the bag. When those first came out, that fucking thing was, I mean, we put a case of beer in each one of those. Yeah. They weren't checking them, really. So then they kind of figured out, okay, everybody's stuffing beers in those bags. So there's still, I mean, I'm a 51-year-old man. I can afford to pay for alcohol, but there's still that whole, like, I want to smuggle some in, you know? So, you know, you get a water bottle, you put vodka in it, you just tell them, hey, it's just water. I mean, what am I, 18? What am I, 21?
All the hacks.
But dude, is this not the greatest hack you've ever seen for a concert? I mean, this is better than ticket stub through the gate. This is better than licking your hand with a stamp and like rubbing it on your buddy's hand. We've all tried every single hack. How did you or I never even think of something like this? This kid is a genius.
And what's great about it, Rod, and they're not having it this year, but the Voodoo Music Festival in New Orleans, it happens at City Park every single year.
We know the layout.
I know the layout, dude. And it takes about 2.5 to 3 weeks because they put the fence up, and there's a walking track. You got ladies pushing strollers, 3 weeks before this massive concert where Guns N' Roses played and the Foo Fighters and Pearl Jam have all played. I know the lay of that park like the back of my hand. I could bury 900 bottles out there. I could have cases of beer. We could pull up all kinds of shit and just stand around and go, hey, Rod, check this out. Dig down. Here, bro. Your own. I could bury shit for days out there. Nobody would know. Nobody.
Dude, we could bury a fucking keg. All right. And then keep it in the ground. Just brush away the top. Fucking somehow get that big keg thing in there, and then boom, here we go. Kegger. Who wants beers?
Oh my God, it's brilliant.
It really was brilliant. So I know you hadn't seen it yet, but it's just him, his feet, his boots, and he's just kicking at the dirt, and then boom. So then everybody starts, why didn't you put it in a bag? Why didn't you do this, that? No. You shut up. We're talking about this guy is living in a different year in the future. And we're just all sitting here going, I think I'm smart enough, but I guess I'm not smart enough to do that. The greatest concert hack I've ever seen. I'm still eternally 19 years old, trying to do something underneath the man,
Wasn't there a story, and you probably heard this, and I don't have the facts right, but wasn't there a story, and I can't recall if it was the Olympics or the Stanley Cup, where somebody put like, you went to the Olympics in Vancouver a few years ago. I'd heard a story where someone took and put like when they put the ice down, the guy who put the ice down, put down like an American quarter in the ice on the Olympic ice in Canada, something like that. Or you see these construction guys that will bury like a Pittsburgh Steelers jersey when they're building the Las Vegas stadium in the dirt. Like you hear stories like that.
That happened with the new Yankee Stadium and the guys that were building it, Boston and New York, they're pretty close. And some guy tried to put a Boston jersey in Yankee Stadium and tried to bury it in there. And I think he got busted because he couldn't keep his big mouth shut because he's going, got a Sam Adams and he's drinking with the boys and he just couldn't keep his yapper shut. So it kind of got back to somebody. And I think that's the story. Right. So, I mean, that's one story. There is something about the ice, and I can't remember exactly what it is, but there was something that somebody was doing something under the ice for sure. But I thought this concert hack was so unbelievably genius.
Well, there's planning involved.
So mad that I didn't come up with something that great. It just goes to show you. And like I said, I've tried everything. I've done you get the wristband. You don't want to put it on too tight so you can slide it off. You can give it to somebody, VIP. Oh, let me borrow your ticket stub so I can get people up here into the suite. Okay, right. I can do that. I'm telling you, we licked our hands. We're trying to get a stamp on somebody else's hand. We've tried everything we could except this hack.
Pretty brilliant, man.
Check out @PlayPantsPod on Twitter, and I've retweeted it so you guys can see it.
That's pretty badass. I mean, that takes, but see, when you and I go to a concert, when we go to Jazz Fest, we're like, you got your dad cargo shorts on and we're standing in line to get in, you're drinking some beers and you got a couple extra. So it's like, here, dude, put these in your pants. And just that little hack, if I get through security and they don't pat me down and I got my beers, I walk in like I'm raising the Stanley Cup. I'm like, I got a beer in.
If I sneak as much as one beer in, I call that a success. Like, that's it. Okay, boom, here we go. Now I'm still going to spend $6,000 on beers that day, but I snuck one in. I got one in. It's like, ha, 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 ha. I got you. Boom.
I can't wait to snake beers into a concert again. It's going to be fun.
Well, you know the hack, and I can't wait for Voodoo Fest for next year. I will give you a list of things to bury. Okay. You just got to make a treasure map.
I'll be like a puppy running around just digging holes all over the damn park, man. I'll forget. You know what the worst is? I'll forget where I buried the shit. I just it's around here somewhere. Damn it. And then I'll get yelled at by everybody. You piece of shit. You forgot where it was.
Yeah, because I'm not bringing any money. I'm like, I don't need money. I'm like a kid going to Woodstock 99. I don't need money. My friend buried everything we need. All the essentials are buried. I don't need anything.
No, I'll fuck it up. I will. And then I will never hear the end of that shit. I guarantee it.
MTV turned 40 on Sunday, and I don't think anybody cared. But no. I do want to talk a little bit about it. And I threw it out there. We're going to do a top 5. I put it down as classic MTV videos. I don't give a shit. It can be any video you want. I mean, mine are all older vids, because it's just, for me, my criteria, you had to watch it on MTV when it was out, when it was happening.
Right.
I know bands still make videos and you can watch them on YouTube, but when I say MTV video, I didn't have to explain that to you, right?
Not at all. I just went, a fucking video. Huh?
Yeah.
A band video.
All right. So I want to talk a little MTV. I'm not going to sit here and bash MTV, but I do want to talk a little bit about them turning 40, what it meant to us, any MTV memories that we have, but then we'll do a top 5 coming up.
If you are in Houston and you're looking for a place to have some damn fun, now don't try to go around the parking lot and bury shit if they're having an outdoor event sometime. Now, see, it's cool when you do it to somebody else. Don't do it at Lucky's Pub West, I-10.
No, don't be sneaking shit in.
Lucky's Pub West, I-10 at Barker Cypress in Houston. Astros baseball. They got on over 40 TVs with killer great game day specials. The food is absolutely amazing. The best pizza on the best side, killer wings, burgers, and their famous Philly cheese steak egg rolls. I got a message the other day about how great those are once again. Every Thursday night, that is steak night. Get the steak, get the meat in your mouth on Thursdays over at Lucky's Pub West, I-10 at Barker Cypress. All you got to do is check out the Facebook page for details. Lucky's Pub West, always an ice cold beer at a fair price. I-10 at Barker Cypress. And, I was thinking back about this MTV thing, Rod, when you sent it to me. I'm like, I didn't get MTV until much later because we didn't have cable in my neighborhood yet. Back in the day, remember? You'd watch the cable guys, and they'd be laying the wire through your yard, and you're like, we're getting cable. And I was like, fuck, we are. No, we're not. We're not getting cable. We can't afford it. I'm like, so I didn't get the whole when it came out shit. And it was years later when I can't tell you when I finally saw MTV.
Do you remember the term super cable? There was cable, and then there was super cable, which got you all those extra channels.
Right.
I think we got cable because my dad could understand that, okay, it's a better picture and we don't have to use that rotor. There was an antenna on people's homes. Okay. For some of you younger folk, you had to turn the antenna on your house.
Yep.
And it was like this little box that was on the floor next to your TV. My dad kind of understood that, okay, it's a better picture. So we got basic cable. But there was something called super cable where you got about 15 channels, and one of them was MTV. And little chubby Rodney Ryan did not have that channel. No way, Jose.
Nope. No,
I don't even remember. I don't even remember when we got MTV, but my grandma had it because my uncle went up the pole and turned something on, and he had a box that was not a cable box. It was like some box from Mexico sitting on my grandmother's TV, and she got like HBO. But there was super cable. And I don't remember any of the other channels, but one of them was MTV. We would go over to my grandmother's house to watch MTV. Like, hey, Graham, what's up? Can I watch MTV? Like, we'd show up. My grandma would think I'm coming to hang out with her. I'm like, no, we're here to watch your MTV, Grandma.
Absolutely. And it was always a buddy's house. It was a kid down the street that his parents had. Maybe the dad was a doctor or something. They had the cable. So you go in and be like, yeah, dude, I want, it used to be back in the day, kids got a pool. You want to hang out with him because he had the pool. In the wintertime in Buffalo, you're like, fuck that kid. Where's the kid with the MTV or the kid with the good cable, the super cable? You go and hang in his house and watch. Because it was always like all your basic super channels and then super cable. And then you had like HBO was always like the first one out, I think. It was always HBO. And, and they'd run the same fucking 10 movies over and over again. It'd be like Bronco Billy, and it'd be like some other shitty shows. Blue Lagoon seemed to always come up like late at night. You'd be like sitting around going, fuck yeah, Blue Lagoon. Look at her go on the beach running.
Add that to my list. So when I was a little kid, if you had an in-ground pool, you were rich.
Yep.
If you had, now we grew up, there was basements. If you had a pool table, you were rich.
Rich as shit.
If you had MTV, you were rich.
Yeah. Super cable.
In my eyes, you were rich. I think it was called Super Cable.
I think it's
I have to go
like
look that up. I have to go look that up.
I don't recall MTV until much, much later. I remember watching like Headbangers Ball. That's kind of when that came out, late 80s, I guess that was. That's when I started watching it. That's when I started really going, oh yeah, fucking that's cool. Because that's when you saw the good videos,
right
late at night and shit.
All that famous footage of like, with the countdown and the rocket. No, I know they use that imagery all the time and the Moon Man, but that was right out of the gate when it went on at midnight. There's legendary stories, and there's a great documentary on MTV that you can go see, but it wasn't even on in New York. They had to go over to Jersey to go watch the launching of MTV, like the guys that put it together, because they run iHeartRadio. And they talk about they had to go to Jersey to go watch the launch of it, because even in New York City, it wasn't on yet. So there's this very famous, this is rock and roll. And, and they go in, and then everybody knows that Video Killed the Radio Star was the first song. And Pat Benatar, and, there's the first 5 and then the first 10. And then you can go to YouTube. There's the first 2 hours of MTV. It's pretty fascinating to watch. Nobody saw it. I mean, nobody saw it. And it wasn't like there was the internet that everybody was buzzing about this new thing. You didn't really know about it, But being that it was the 40th, I went to MTV on Sunday. And I don't know what I was expecting. I'm stupid. I'm dumb. But I go to MTV on Sunday just thinking that maybe they would throw us a bone or acknowledge it. Why would they? They're playing ridiculousness on a loop. I mean, ridiculousness every 30 minutes. It was just ridiculousness. And then for a second, I was kind of sad. I was thinking, I was kind of hoping there was going to be some sort of a thing on there. And then I kind of talked myself off the ledge. Who even remotely near our age would even go to MTV? Because it's not for you anymore.
Right.
So if you're going to do some sort of a nostalgia thing, they're going to blow out what teenagers they have watching that channel. They're not going to be interested.
Nope.
So I talked myself completely out of it. But do you see what I'm saying? Why I was upset? Why didn't they acknowledge it? Nothing.
Yeah, something. They could have busted in, or how they got the shows on loop, those half-hour shows. Take that 2 minutes and run clips of like, this is where it began. Like even someone who's 20, who loves all those stupid shows, is gonna be like, oh, no shit, I didn't know that. I don't think they give a shit. I don't think they do give a shit.
Yeah, I don't think MTV. They probably know what they're doing. I'll say that. And the people that tune into that channel do not give a shit about Mark Goodman. You know what I mean? Like they don't care about
Ricky Rackman. Yeah, they don't care.
They just don't care. So then I started arguing with myself. Damn, they know what they're doing. They don't need to acknowledge it. But
they don't.
Am I the only one that cares about this shit? MTV turned 40. If you got satellite radio, you know, all of those guys are on there. Right. The original VJs, Martha Quinn, and they do shows, you know, on 80s on 8, and, you know,
correct.
They do shows. So I know that they acknowledged it. I was a little sad. I guess
it's weird that that's not the place to acknowledge it, because it seems like you could do something very cool, get a lot of cool marketing out there, get a lot of social media buzz. But then again, think about the age group. And we talked about this about radio. We talk about everything. It's all about making money, and the demographics, you know, 25 to 54-year-old persons. That's what your advertisers have always been looking for. Well, guess what? If you're 16 in 1981 when this thing started, do the math, 40 plus 16. There you go, man. You don't even count anymore. Sorry.
Right.
Just, they're never going to do it. And it's a shame, because it would be cool. And it's like, you know, you always see, and everyone makes the same joke. Oh, MTV, you know, 40 years of MTV. Thanks for the 15 years of videos, you know, or whatever it was. And it's like, if they kept playing videos, there would be no MTV left. That's why they changed. It just wasn't a viable way to make money for that channel anymore.
To go back to the Woodstock documentary, Woodstock 94, MTV was there. They were still heroes.
Yep.
And all of those kids that were at that show in 94, you know, it was still kind of their MTV. When you got to Woodstock 99, and they talk about it in the documentary, and I forgot the guy's name, but he was the number 2 guy, but he was talking about Carson, who was still on. And, and Carson, he said, he goes, I was never more happy to be the number 2 guy. He said Carson took so much shit, because what happened there is you had that weird changing of the guard where there was still, you know, because this is even past you and I, but, you know, MTV Live and the countdown and everything, they were still kind of getting Limp Bizkit in there, but Britney Spears was getting in there a little bit more. And then all the boy bands were getting in there. And then Korn was getting pushed out, and Limp Bizkit was getting pushed. And then all of a sudden, by the time 99, 2000 rolls around, now your little sister likes MTV when it used to be your channel, and there was a changing of the guard, and they just went in a different direction. They went with the changing of the tide, which that was the most popular music. And that was, you know, all that pop music was huge, and they ran it on a loop, and you felt like you aged out. And, you know, MTV broke a lot of hearts, but if you were there in the beginning, and
cool.
You don't have to be there 40 years ago, but even if you were there in the first 10, 15 years, it was so fucking great. They led the way. They led in everything. They were trendsetters, and radio would react to things that MTV did. If MTV put something in rotation, it used to be the other way around. You know, MTV was adding stuff, and they were kind of feeding off of what radio was doing. Boy, that didn't last long. Radio started looking at MTV and following their lead. That's a fact. They really were trendsetters over there.
We stole everything. We stole everything from MTV, because think about what MTV did with all the stuff in between, all the videos, all that, what we call imaging with little commercials for MTV. They were well written. They were funny as shit. They had all that jump cuts and all this crazy new ways of editing. We took that to radio, and before MTV, radio was just that deep voice guy. You're listening to The Buzz. And it was just that kind of shit. It was manly fucking set of balls voices, guys.
With some lasers and a couple of pew, 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 pew.
Wow. You know, that kind of shit. And that's all it was. And it was the same stale shit. MTV came out, and you started getting all the, you know, on a pew and different sound effects, and the voices started changing. You used multiple voices, and it was way cool. Better writing. The writing started to change, and it got more exciting between the songs.
And it was just, you said it was exciting. I mean, MTV was exciting. You couldn't wait to watch it. You couldn't wait. You would stay up. And if you could stay up late, you just sit there and you're fucking watching videos all night. And even if a bomber came on, you know, like, you know, Michael Jackson was in between Van Halen, you know, but you didn't care, because you were going to be 1 or 2 videos away from something that got you back in. It should be noted too, that MTV really embraced rock. Rock was right there on the beginning of MTV. You know, sure, there was Duran Duran and there was Michael Jackson. There was all of that, but they really were a channel around rock. And that stuff was on all the time. And it was glorious. It was so unbelievable. When you saw a video, you learned about new bands. You saw stuff. All up until grunge. MTV was still, pretty influential. There was a bunch of game shows and a bunch of crap on when grunge hit. The channel had changed a lot, but they were still showing videos. And you got to see new stuff, and you're seeing these bands, and it was just a part of your culture. It was a part of your lifestyle. It taught us how to dress. Yes. It taught us how to talk. It taught us how to be, because if you're in podunk wherever, I'm convinced, and Jason and I, here we are. Oh yeah, we're these big New Yorkers. Fuck it, we're from Buffalo, okay? And then we're not even from Buffalo. We're from outside of New York. There's New York City, there's Chicago, maybe, but there's New York City and there's LA, and then there's the Midwest.
Yep, takes some time.
There's the Midwest,
yeah,
and that's where you learned what was going on. And it was cool when they went away to the spring breaks and those things, because think about STP playing at spring break, right? And Weiland's in the dress.
Yep.
But you saw kids, you're like, wow, I want my hair to look like that. Wow, cool. Orange neon shorts. I want those. Body glove. Can I get a body glove? No, I'm too fat. Shit.
Or how many times, back then, you didn't have every album. You couldn't afford to buy every cassette or every CD. So you'd hear these songs on the radio, and then you'd see the video and you'd be like, that's what those people look like? Holy shit. I didn't know that's, the first time I heard Poison, I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then I saw them on the video. I'm like, holy shit, they're girls. Wait, are they girls? Are they boys? Who are these guys? You got to see these people, and it brought a whole nother dynamic to your marketing for your band. And if you had a pretty boy up front, oh, good night. Good night. David Lee Roth. Yeah. Thank you. You're welcome. David Lee Roth and all the hair metal. Forget it. It was massive, massive, massive stuff. I do miss seeing all those videos, but what's great now is I'll go down these wormholes, and I'm going to end up going down a wormhole once you give me your top 5 videos, I'm sure, on YouTube to go see these videos again, because there's some that I haven't seen in 20, 30 years. And I guess we'll get into it. You want to go first on the top 5?
I don't care. I'll go first.
Do it. Go first. I want to see.
What was the level of difficulty for you?
I kind of just went off the top of my head real quick. I'm sure I'm going to miss a ton, and I'm going to hear yours and go, oh yeah, shit, that's a good one too. Oh yeah. But I kind of just wanted to go from memory. I did a little sneaking around the internet just to kind of refresh, but it wasn't hard, because it's like a song. You got your songs that you love. It's the same thing with a video.
Yeah.
How often did a video change your feeling on a song, where like you heard a song and you're like, it's pretty good, but then you saw the video and then you'd love the song more?
Oh, it happened all the time. And you and I were, tell me if you remember this, when Alanis Morissette came out. Jason and I started working in radio at a time where we would work the phone lines, and people would call. People would call and say, I saw a video with a chick with long hair. It looked like Flea on bass. This chick is so angry. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. Alanis Morissette, because the last 10 people that I talked to on the phone asked about the same thing. I don't ever remember people going apeshit over a song like that. And that was kind of like the end of people would call. I saw something on TV. What is this video? And they wanted us to play it. And then they saw it on MTV.
And then they started, that's when record labels, before that, that's when record labels were pumping, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars into videos. So you had to have that badass video, which I'm sure we're going to talk about here as we go through your top 5, Rod.
Okay. So number 5, I was all over the place. I'm disgusted with myself. What I do is I make a list, and I put usually 20, and then it's just like canceling people, and it's just like firing. It's shit. How can I let
shitting on your best friends, basically? Yeah,
I know.
Sure.
Number 5, U2, Sunday Bloody Sunday. Holy shit! I didn't know what Red Rocks was.
It's so good.
But But them playing, and I didn't know what the song was about. I didn't know the protest. I didn't know any of that. I just saw them playing in a mountain and these huge cauldrons of flames on either side and one in the middle. And you can see his breath. Is it cold? Is this in Ireland? Where is this crazy place where these massive rocks are? Yeah. And then he's got the white flag. And it was so powerful, dude. It's just a live video.
Yeah.
It's a live video from their concert film, U2 Live from Red Rocks. It was Under a Blood Red Sky.
Right.
And they chose that to push on MTV, and MTV embraced it. It was on all the time. I had no idea what Red Rocks was. And it just looked like the coolest place, which turns out it is the coolest place ever to go see a show. I know you probably went a bunch of times when you lived there. I went once, and it's for everybody that is a lover of live music and you love concerts, you absolutely have to put Red Rocks on your list. That's for another list.
Yeah, it's a great venue. Great venue. That's
so Sunday Bloody Sunday in at number 5. In at number 4, I thought this band was going to be huge. Like when you saw Nirvana and they became massive, I loved this band so much. And I think the imagery still is going to stick with every single one of you. But Faith No More, epic.
Yeah.
Faith No More was probably, it impacted me more than the first time I saw Nirvana. And it impacted me more than the first time I saw or heard Pearl Jam and Soundgarden. They were years before. That dude's voice, mixing of the rap, it was bigger to me. Like I wasn't a huge Chili Pepper fan, but what Mike Patton was doing, and again with the fish at the end, it's great. Flopping around, it's genius. It's absolutely genius.
Wait, do you know the story about that fish?
I did. I don't know it now. If you know it, I'd love to hear about.
Dude, the fish flopping around at the end of the Faith No More epic video.
You couldn't do that today, could you?
Somebody called and go, "You're killing the fish, man. It's a fucking goldfish," right? But yeah, I get it. That was a fish that Bjork had, the Icelandic crazy singer, right? Bjork had it. She took it to a party where the Faith No More guys were hanging out at this party in California somewhere. And she gave it to them and they're like, fuck it, let's put it in our video. And that's where that goldfish came from. I think it did die, by the way. I think the fish
flopping around at the end. That's my number 4. My number 3, Van Halen, Hot for Teacher.
Oh, yeah. How do you not love that video? There's so many great things happening in that video.
You got the teacher who's crazy hot, who rips the thing off. You got the long table. You got Eddie's guitar solo, but nothing is cooler than those kids. They cast kids that looked like all the members of Van Halen. And I even remember, I'm older than those kids, but I remember, God damn, they're hanging out with Van Halen. Yeah. Like it looks like Eddie gets to hang. The kid that looks like David Lee Roth gets to hang out with David Lee Roth.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was like the greatest gig in the world. I was never more jealous of a child actor in my entire life than Hot for Teacher. I love that video. I know that Eddie probably hated it because, David Lee Roth's got them all dancing and everything, and they're screwing up.
Oh, they're drunk. They're drunk as shit.
They're in line and they're trying to do some choreography and they're messing it up. And all of it is brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. So Hot for Teacher is my number 3.
Wow.
My number 2, this is tough, man. Welcome to the Jungle.
Oh, shit.
Those dudes were so dirty.
It's great.
And Axl Rose looked like a fucking monster, okay? Yep. He's got the pants are like painted on him, and you see his back, and he's skinny, and his hair's up, and just Welcome to the Jungle was mind-blowing. And that was my introduction to them, too.
Oof.
So I did not have the album. Nobody had the album when it came out in 87. We all got it in 88. Right. It wasn't until MTV started playing it. And that's when we saw, holy shit, this is what LA is like. You think everybody in LA looks like that. And I said, I gotta go there. I want to be in LA. I loved it. I'm like, oh my God, these guys must be getting chicks. They must be getting tons of chicks. I thought it was great. I thought they just looked like a gang. It was just amazing.
But that's what we talked about in the last episode or a couple previous episodes about how Guns N' Roses is kind of responsible for dusting off the hair metal, because up until that point, everyone was pretty dudes. They were all made up. They had the pretty hair. And then when Guns N' Roses came out, they didn't have, I mean, Axl's hair was big, but it was a different big. And it was just such a grimy, dirty, like I thought I was going to get dirty watching the video because it was so brutally awesome, you know? So yeah.
Everybody toughened up their look and everything after that.
Like, woof.
So my number one, and again, I'm looking at this list and I'm looking at all these, I don't know, I'm disgusted with myself, you know, I'm like, come on, Tawny Katane, nothing. Okay.
I know.
Number one, another thing that radio stole from MTV, they created what we call in the business an appointment. When they debuted a new video, okay, they ran promos nonstop that we've got this new song from this band and we're going to play it at 12:15, 3:15, 6:15. They would lay it out for you when the video was going to air.
Yep.
Okay. So this video, my number one video, it's not the greatest video, but it's something. This shows you what MTV meant to me. I got out of school at 3:00. I did not have MTV, but my friend Pat Halesko did. And we timed it out. It's a 10 to 12 minute, fairly fast sprint from school to his house. The video is going to air at 3:15. We get out of school at 3. I think it was like a 3:02. It was a weird time that we got out. We had to full on haul ass. We run to Pat's house, get out of school in 84, right? Or no, the album's 84, but it's 84. We run, book bags in the kitchen, past mom in there, turn it on, and I see a biplane. Panama, Van Halen, we caught it. We caught it right from the beginning. As soon as we turned on the TV, and it probably had to warm up for a second. Dude, the imagery is right there. It's a biplane. It's going right towards the camera. And then you see in the bottom corner, Van Halen, Panama, 1984. And then that video comes on. I do think that Hot for Teacher is a better video, but the excitement of seeing that and watching a world premiere of a video, that's what MTV meant to us. That's what Van Halen meant to me as well back then. So that's my number one.
Damn, that's good. That's a good list. See, that's what was always so great when your band that you love, or you know, you got a bunch of your favorite bands, and it was your band that was going to be one of those debuts, man. It just, you'd sit there and you were just like, holy, you didn't know what to do with yourself. You'd be standing in front of the TV freaking out, and your mom's like, "What are you doing? Shush, shush, shush! Nobody talk in the house," and you crank it.
And you had to watch MTV at the top of the hour because they would tell you what videos are coming up.
Yeah.
So they would go, and they were pretty good about like giving you in order, but they would go at the top and say, okay, welcome to another hour of MTV. We got you here. Okay, coming up, you know, Amy Mann, and then Rush, and then this, whatever. And they would tell you. So you would know, okay, I can go run over here, but then I got to be back because it sounds like in about 4 videos, they're going to play Cinderella. I got to be back. Or Tesla's coming up. I got to be back in front of the TV.
Cinderella and the Tesla. That is old school MTV. Nice list. See, now I gotta go look at more videos again. Damn it. Here goes the rabbit hole tonight, dude. I'm never sleeping tonight. Tonight.
Well, okay, I'm not gonna say anything more because I want to hear you.
Okay, so, and again, these aren't like awesome videos. They hold a spot for me for whatever reason. You know what I mean? Like it's my favorite.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. Let's just get it out of the way right now. Okay. Thriller, Michael Jackson, the best video of all time. Done. Okay.
It's great. And Beat It.
It's the greatest video ever. Not on my list though.
But I always thought the Beat It video was really cool. You know, it was because that was one of the first ones I ever saw. Because it was like, holy shit, who is this guy? He floats. He doesn't dance. He floats. Is he on strings? Anyway, my top 5. The video I always thought was really cool, and there's nothing fancy about it, but it looked like the band was having fun in it, and it was just unique, and the imagery was cool, and it just looked like, and they were at their peak, man. This is when they were hitting the home runs. Stone Temple Pilots' Interstate Love Song. The video, they start out, they get
You're
that
a
dude.
car guy. Tell everybody you're a dumb, stupid gearhead.
Yeah, but it's not. It's just a Cadillac, the old, big old Cadillac Eldorado blasting through the desert, and they're singing, and the wind's going. It's just a very cool MTV type video, And it looked like the band was actually having fun at that
Looks like
time in their
Quentin
lives.
Tarantino would do, or Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah, it was really a cool video. It was just bizarre, but I always loved that video, and that just made that song even better when I saw the video. I still love that video today. And this one, at number 4, it seems too easy. But 9 Inch Nails Closer.
Oh, it's a good one.
The first time I saw that, and it was so, and they had to edit. That's with the pig head, and they're hanging by hooks, and they got the fucking weird dominatrix masks on, and all the weird shit going on.
So good.
And it's that yellowy, and they used like an old 1930s camera to film that. That's a legit like hand crank camera when they filmed Closer. I just remember watching that going, what the fuck am I watching? It was disturbing. It freaked me out. Like you talked about a minute ago about East Coast, West Coast, and then to the middle. I'm sure a kid in New York City is going, oh yeah, that's cool. And I'm just like sitting there going, what the fuck? I'm playing Atari 2600 still, and I'm watching Closer from 9 Inch Nails freaking out. I'm like, what the hell is this shit? That is at number 4. A video that I actually punched up just the other day, and it was random before we even discussed doing this today, because I read something about it. Someone said something about it on Twitter, and I was like, yeah, that was a powerful video. And I remember when it came out, it was a big fucking deal. But it still holds up. I watched it just the other day. Pearl Jam's Jeremy. That's the whole in the school, in the classroom. Oh, you know what it was? They released kind of like the unedited version, which it just showed a lot more blood splattered on the kids, basically. Because it's so, especially with all the shootings and all the stuff going on in schools, it really has a hard impact today still. And it's still a great, disturbing video. So Pearl Jam.
Is that the second? I mean, Alive was first.
And Alive was filmed at a club in Seattle. They did it live.
Correct. But Jeremy, that had to be the third single, right?
Was Even Flow second?
Single.
Was it Alive, Even Flow?
Jeremy. And then Jeremy. So both of those clips, like you said, the first 2 Pearl Jam clips are live.
Right.
The thing that you're spot on with Jeremy is you saw those you saw Eddie Vedder and you saw his eyes. And if you remember, like he's singing, it's so impactful, his face, and he looks demonic almost. And none of us knew what Jeremy was about when it came out. Nobody knew what that song was about. And obviously they did. And he just looks demented in that video. And that's when I kind of realized, hey, what is he singing about here? Because he doesn't look happy. Because they were just kind of rocking out in those first 2 videos.
Correct.
Yeah. And that third one is like, wait a minute, do I need to find out about this song? Because those eyes of Eddie Vedder are telling me something here.
Yeah. His passion. That's what made me over time like Eddie Vedder more and more over the years, because of his passion, especially in the video, in live. But yeah, Jeremy still hits hot. I forgot. 1, 2, 3. Number two, I guess. This one we just got done talking about. It's called Hot for Teacher from Van Halen. And you know what? It really doesn't have anything to do with the teacher. I mean, of course, that's a great moment.
Dude, she's hot as shit. What do you mean it doesn't have anything to do with her?
Dude, when that came out, dude, in my neighborhood, everyone who fucked up, anyone who was a dork was called Waldo. And you were in a classroom.
I forgot about the beginning. Yeah, the intro.
Sit down, Waldo, on the bus, the whole thing, man. It was just great. And then the dance thing, I thought the kids were great. The solo was great. Everything about that video, so it just looked like they're having fun. But the dancing was so fucking off. And Eddie Van Halen is hammered in the video, man. And it's so great that he's screwing it up.
Amazing.
Because David Lee Roth all like, let's do this Vegas thing. And they're all like, what? Fuck you. And the fact that they're fucking it up. But it's such a great move. Whoever choreographed it, it actually is kind of a cool little dance that they do for Hot for Teachers. So yeah, great video. Still a great video. And then number 1, and this is going to be 2 on the nose. I know it, and I'll take shit for it. I don't mind. First time I saw it, I went, damn, smells like Teen Spirit.
Yeah.
Because you heard the song. And when I heard the song, I was like, holy fuck is that good? And it changed. Everything was different when that song came on the radio. And then I'm like, oh, they're going to show the video. Cool. I never saw it. And it was only a couple of weeks later, probably when the video, or when I saw it finally. And the video looked different than anything on TV. The way they did it, it was just weird and bizarre. And you've seen it a million times. And it's just, they destroy the set and the cheerleaders. And it was just fucked up. And it was great.
It's an amazing video. It's great because the song is so groundbreaking and the video matched how amazing the song was.
Right.
Like you said, the video looked different.
And it helped the song, obviously.
I got all that shit written down. I mean, I got Smells Like Teen Spirit. I got Beat It, 1983. Yeah. I got Closer written down. You got to mention, just because everything that's been going on lately, especially here, man, any of those ZZ Top videos, I was Legs or Gimme All Your Lovin', the girls, the car, the guys in ZZ Top with the moves, they were so
the key.
They were so cool. They were stories. They were little mini stories. And then they started linking together when it was like a continuing story. Like you couldn't wait for the next song to be released so that you could see what the guys are doing in the video. And, any of that ZZ Top stuff was amazing. I mentioned White Snake, Tawny Katane. That imagery is timeless. Yeah. And neither one of us have a Motley Crue video.
Those were all great, too.
Let's be real. They made great videos. Listen, Dave Grohl is a great video maker. Tom Petty made great videos. Dave Grohl made great videos because of Tom Petty. I do believe that.
Right.
But it just wasn't classic enough for me. I feel like, if I saw Dave Grohl videos, I probably saw them on a computer screen. Yeah. Even going back to Everlong and the early stuff, I really feel like I watched that on some website before YouTube. So I really went, the newest thing on your list is probably, well, yeah, I mean, Pearl Jam, STP, that stuff's still 30 years old. I still have a hard time accepting that shit's 30 years old.
Correct. Yeah, but it is.
The impact. Seeing Motley Crue. Holy shit. You want to talk about when we first saw Marilyn Manson? That really was a monster, That was a monster that you saw on screen. With the Sweet Dreams video, holy shit. It's still scary. But Motley Crue, man, holy shit. Those videos, they were amazing. They were like superheroes. They were like Kiss for a while for me. They were like not real. They were superheroes.
And then there's like, and I know what's going to happen is I'm going to turn this thing off and I'm going to get up tomorrow morning and I'm just going to barrel through YouTube looking at videos all day. And because we're going to get the emails, we're going to get the texts, we're going to get all the shit. You forgot about this one, you forget about that one, It's like, yeah, you're right. We forgot about this. We forgot about like Black Hole Sun from Soundgarden. We forgot about all these great videos. Yeah. But top 5 favorite MTV videos on our social media at Playpants Pod, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. Let us know yours, because I love looking at other people's, because that always triggers me to go, oh yeah, shit. Forgot about that one, man. Damn it.
I just tried to avoid the whole bitching about MTV. With the 40 years, we talked a little bit on the radio about it, and then social media, you can't control what people say. Right. So I was interested in, tell me your favorite video. Tell me, I was trying to focus on, we had this great thing, and I know it's not great anymore if you liked it for why you liked it back in the day.
Right.
It's really difficult to try to get people to say something good about MTV. They can't help but to say, oh, it sucks now. Okay, but here's my favorite video.
Yeah.
So,
well, the problem is,
if you have to do that, you have to vent first and then give us your top 5. I'm okay with that. If you can just skip that, because we all feel the same way, just give me the top 5. Just skip right to the great memories.
MTV's not for you anymore. It's not for you. It's not built for you anymore. It's just not. Most people don't keep up with the latest trends. You're not going to sit there around watching. Dude, I can't tell you the last time I had MTV on. I don't even know where it is. I couldn't find it. If you said, dude, go get MTV on the TV, I wouldn't know where to go. No idea.
But when it came on, it wasn't for a 40-year-old. It was.
but see what you talked about earlier with like TRL and the Carson Daly and all that shit. It just always stayed at that 18 or like the 15 to like 25-year-old. So the second you were 25, and like you said, the Britneys came out, that wasn't for you. Yeah, but that's what was popular to the 18 to 25-year-old. That's what they gave a shit about.
Yeah.
You were always going to age out of it. You're always going to, but we just didn't realize it at the time. People don't get that now. You know, it's all about the money, the demographics, man.
Coming up, Jason found an article. He sent it over to me that apparently things get a little tougher once you hit 40. We're going to kind of fly through that, and we'll do some final thoughts to wrap this up. But I wanted to talk about one of our great sponsors, and it's amazing. They've been on with us since the beginning. I mean, shout out to Pirates of the Quarter for believing in the Play Pants podcast. I believe they were right there with episode 1. So New Orleans, I'm going to get to go to New Orleans, man. I'm going to go next week. It's been a long, long time since I've been in. And I've already taken the tour a couple of times. New Orleans, it's an amazing city. It's loaded with a ton of history. You guys all know that. And there was a time when real life pirates roamed the streets of the French Quarter. Now, I'm talking real history here. And these guys, your guides, these pirates are going to take you around, and they're going to make it fun. You're going to have a great time. You're going to move around. You're going to party still. And then you're going to just hear these great stories while you're still enjoying. Bring all your friends and hang out and take the tour. Hear incredible tales of smuggling, sword fights, cannons, rum, Pirates of the Quarter. All right. The most unique walking tour in the French Quarter. It's fun. It's not like, there's no test at the end of it, but you're going to be amazed that you're going to be walking around. Once the tour's over, you're going to be sitting around drinking beers. You're going to be talking about it. My God, can you believe that happened right here? It's going to blow your mind. All right. Discover pirate history of New Orleans. Piratesofthequarter.com. At Pirates of the Quarter. Their social media is amazing. And of course, links on our Play Pants podcast page and on our YouTube page. Tell me about this article that you found. You sent it over to me. I had a chance to glaze through it. I glazed through it.
Dude, we're both pretty far removed from turning 40. Okay. Look, I mean, 40 is pretty far in the rearview mirror at this point. And I thought, you know what? We're a couple of lads that have been around the block a few thousand times. Maybe someone seasoned is the way we would like to put that out there. So I found this article and I don't want to spend a lot of time on it, but it was kind of interesting. Things that are tougher once you're in your 40s. Okay. For example, making new friends, Rod. Do you make a lot of new friends? And I know we're kind of lucky because we work in a business where we're always out. Well, we were always out meeting people. So, but if you made any like new friends that you will hang out with all the time?
So where I'm living now, and we're coming off of, and we're still kind of in this weird, fucked up situation, but lockdown, let's talk about the last 15 months.
Right.
I moved not long before that to a new area of Houston. And the dude next door to me he's 50. Okay. So he's right in my wheelhouse, and he's got 2 kids. And you know that, if you have a kid, when you meet somebody that has a kid, there's already kind of you get it. You get some of these things, right? You get what I'm going through. And we didn't go anywhere. So then the guy across the street, this guy's Australian over here. The guy across the street's from England. He's got 2 kids. He's kind of in our wheelhouse of age. And then the guy across the street who's a little bit younger. He's got 2 kids. Nobody's going anywhere. So what do? We're doing the whole drinking over the beer and talking and setting up chairs and everything. And I made like all these new friends at this weird late juncture in my life.
That's cool.
So don't think that it's not going to happen.
Right.
But it does get a little more difficult. Now, I'm not at your level yet, because if I'm not mistaken, the last time we checked in with you in Florida, am I right in thinking that the reason you were with that couple in Florida is because your sons were pals and that's how you met?
Pretty much.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's totally right. So we're friends with them because of our kids. If it wasn't for the kids though, dude, do you think you'd be really hanging with these dudes as much?
Yeah, they're cool as shit, man. They like to party.
Well, I mean, okay, so
they're cool as shit. I mean, I really, really lucked out. It's amazing. I absolutely lucked out. But I'm wondering, I haven't hit the birthday circuit yet, where it seems, when your kid hits a certain age, that's all you do on Saturdays is you go every Saturday, there's a new birthday party, you know, and you start seeing the similar parents. And I mean, did that happen for you where it's like, okay, now we're kind of stuck together. We might as well, you know, have a couple of beers and, hey, what do you do? Hey, what do you do?
Yeah, I think a lot of that when you get on that birthday circuit, though, man, it's more like oh, good to see you again. But it's just that, you know, you don't really get
surface stuff.
It's just, but you're cool. Like, hey, dude, how's your kid doing? You know, oh, you play ball? Yeah, I play ball. Or yeah, I like horseshoes, or I like this, or I do that, or I saw this show. But that's about it. You know, and my kid plays soccer, so the dads will sit around 20 minutes before, right. The game or whatever. And we'll talk shop a little bit. We'll talk some soccer. We'll talk Saints football. You know, you do that. We're not really palling about after okay, see you, bye. And then we'll see you next soccer game. It's not, I guess they're friends, but I'm not like kicking
inner circle. There's inner circle.
Right.
There's different levels. I think everybody can agree upon that. I just happened to really, really luck out. I mean, there was nothing else to do. And I got stuck with like super awesome people, and we became that much closer. And it wasn't forced family fun. Even this weekend, I'm doing hot dogs on the grill. We're going to pregame, and then, the kids will come over in the pool, and then the dads will chill. And I mean, it's like, I'm looking forward to them coming over. It's not like, oh God, a kid, and, bringing that weird dad. I have met some weird dads that that they want in. I've met some dads that want in. Like, they want in on what's happening here in my little corner.
Right.
I come on the corner of the street, and we're all kind of agree, like, nah, we don't need anybody else in here. That's enough. That's enough. We're kind of closed off to anyone else.
Dick, man.
It's kind of cool though. I don't know.
It's good. It's good.
All right. So
another thing, Rod, when you get over 40, losing weight, okay, can be difficult. Because your metabolism slows down, and I'll just lump a few of these in together. Losing weight, staying up all night and partying until the sun comes up, and then that hangover. Everyone starts to say around 40 is when that hangover starts to go, hey, I'm not fucking around anymore. I'm going to be here a while. That hangover doesn't go away as quick as it did when you were in your 30s and 20s, man.
I didn't want to admit that it was going to happen. I fight all of these things. I fight the age thing. I fight all of these things. But it does come down to when you're out drinking, you know how bad the next day is going to be. That dictates what you're going to do that evening. It's like, you know what? Okay, this is not the greatest night ever. And I don't want to completely be a piece of shit tomorrow because I'm headed that way where I'm going to be a complete piece of shit. This situation is not important enough to have me feeling like I know what I'm going to feel. Right. Now, there is a couple of nights where it's like, okay, I don't give a shit. I need to cut loose. I'm going to do it. Boom. I know I'm going to be a POS tomorrow. But that kid's not hungover. That kid's waking me up. I've got to go, and I've got to be on the go. There's no laying on the couch anymore. Nope. I don't know when that's going to happen again. So it's good and it's bad. I don't just lay around and be hungover, but I don't go out and party like I used to because the hangover is worse than the experience. I don't like to gamble a lot because the thrill of gambling, the little bit that I win doesn't outweigh the misery of me losing money. Okay. I'm miserable when I lose money. I work too hard for it. I'll stand there and watch you gamble. I'll play some cards and stuff. I hate losing money. You start to say that tomorrow is going to be way worse than the time that I'm having right now.
Which you don't do when you're younger.
It's a scale, dude.
Right. But you didn't do that before. You're just like, fuck it, let's go. Light your hair on fire and rock and roll. But now you're kind of like, man, this is going to hurt. This is going to hurt. You know it's going to hurt.
I can lay around like a piece of shit all day.
You can't do that anymore.
And watch Bar Rescue and watch 12 episodes of that.
Here's something like, your kid is going to get older. So you're going to start playing a lot more sports again because she's playing soccer, right? So you're going to start doing a lot more ball kicking around. And for a couple of years, because you're bigger, you're going to be, kicking her ass. And it's okay. It's okay to win, right? You don't have to let your kid win every time because I've never done that. But now my kid's
I'm down with that already.
My kid's 13, dude, and I'm in shape and I can run and stuff. dude, playing sports when you're over 40 is a whole nother ball game, baby. It's brutal. Not only are you sore as shit for a couple of days, and I'm just talking about goofing around the backyard for a couple hours, throwing the ball. You sit there, you have a catch. Remember, you just play catch all the time. You play catch, throw a football, throw a baseball, whatever. Yeah, do that now. Go out and talk to your neighbors next time you're having beers and go, hey, man, you want to throw the ball around for a while? And do it for like half an hour. See how your arm feels the next day, dude. You're not going to be able to pick up your arm.
If you're throwing around a real pig in like a football, it's not so much like a baseball and a mitt. If you're throwing a football around and you're starting to really like launch it, go deep, man. Yeah. The other thing that comes out just like that, like having a catch, you develop something called a rake muscle. You back that gets pulled when you rake. And the next day you're like, what the fuck did I raked yesterday. It's like you lift your arm up and you go over and you take your other arm as far as you can go under your rib cage. That's called your rake muscle. You rake your yard and you feel it the next day. Like, what the fuck happened? It's the craziest thing. It's like playing sports, raking.
Yeah. Yeah. No, anything hurts. Dude, I sneezed the other day. I had to take a knee. It hurt my neck so bad. I swear to God, I sneezed at a weird angle and I was like, oh shit.
I don't know if this is a dehydration thing, but you and I used to work with a guy. He was a little bit older than us, but his name was Major Tom. And he was this amazing guy in promotions and he knew everybody. And he was he was just this great New Orleans type character guy that we worked with. And we went to Memphis or somewhere with him, I think.
Yeah, for Saints game up to Memphis.
Graceland and stuff. And Major Tom, right? He was
absolutely. Yeah, though we had a bunch of listeners on the bus.
And I remember him, and I didn't get it at the time. He was about 10 years older than us, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So he probably wasn't even 40, but he partied hard. And everybody wakes up and, you're on the couch, you're waking up in all these crazy places. And he's laying there and he said, hey, which one of you was kicking me in the calves all night? And I didn't get it. Okay. Right. If I go and you and I go hang out at Jazz Fest all day and I wake up the next morning, I think of Major Tom. Who the fuck's been kicking me in the calves all night? In my calves, they get so tight. And I think I didn't have enough water, but I was on my feet all day. I can stay on my feet all day like an animal. Yeah. I can still walk like an animal. I can go to New York City and boom, I can cover that whole island. But the next day, my fucking legs are humming. They're humming.
You got to hydrate.
Major Tom, who is kicking me? And it's specific. It's very specifically my calves the next day. I'm like, I need a rub down, man. My calves are kicking like Jackie Chan.
Yeah. No, it's brutal. It's all about the hydration. You just dry out. And I know a lot of times, like my hips hurt if I drink too much. The next day, I'm like, why do my fucking hips hurt? My fucking hips hurt. Why do my hips hurt? There's got to be something about the booze. I don't know.
You're birthing a couple of butt babies after that.
I don't know, man, but my hips fucking hurt. What did you guys do to me last night? I'd rather you kick me in the calves because that way my hips don't hurt. I've noticed that I'm more patient now. Things that used to.
There's good things.
There's a lot of good things.
I did not want to just sit here and talk about it sucks when you turn 40. And I'm glad you're going to turn this around because there's good things that happen. Go ahead.
There's a laundry list of shitty things that happens, but there's good things too, because I feel like finally, it took me a lot of years to get patience. Like things that used to piss me off, I fucking fly off the handle. And now I just kind of go, who cares? But I also have I have more patience, but I have a shit ton less tolerance for bullshit that's wasting my time. And I know it sounds like I'm saying the same thing, but it's two specifically different things, right? A little thing like, hey, you got the wrong brand of milk that I like. I don't care. I'll fucking drink whatever. Who cares? But if someone's like, hey, and they're just talking in circles at work or something, it's like, just spit it out, bro. Give me your idea. Let's go. Don't be a chicken shit. Say what you mean and let's move forward. I have patience for a lot of things and I will not tolerate bullshit. I think that's what I'm trying to say.
I want to get in and out of conversations. And I know this is weird because we're doing a podcast and we're shooting shit for an hour and a half.
Always.
But, and I don't think my wife listens to this. My wife and her mom on the phone, they are so detail orientated on everything. So I went there, and then I went over to the milk, and then there was a woman over there that was asking about the milk, and then, okay, we got the milk. And then I went over to the produce, and you know what I saw in the produce? You know, they had the sprayers coming out, and I got my hands a little bit wet, but that was okay because, then I could open up the bags easier. I had a little wetness on my hands, so I opened up the bag. So that was good. And then, man, you know that favorite peanut butter that Rod likes? They didn't have it. So then the details, I don't need any of that. And my wife kind of gets that. Like, I'm like, just go right into the thing. I need to go into that. I don't need all of, the electrician came over today. Well, this guy, he asked me for a screwdriver. I was like, well, why doesn't he have a screwdriver? He should probably have a screwdriver. Why would he need our screwdriver? He's an electrician. He must have been working all day. I'm like, what? Did he fix it? Is the AC fixed? I'm very impatient. I just get into it, man. Just get right into it. Okay, start with that. Hit me over the head with it's fixed. And then, he didn't have a screwdriver and he needed to borrow one of ours. Great. But is it fixed? Let's start with that one. Boom, there's your headline. And then every single thing that he did while he was here, let me hear about it. That's great.
It's the same thing. I just had this conversation the other day of like a friend of mine was going on and on about going to fucking Costco. I went down this aisle. I bought this. Here's how I cooked it. And I go, I just said point blank, I go, dude, going to the grocery store is just maintenance. It's a means to an end. I don't care. I don't ever talk about going to the grocery store. If somebody got hit in the face with a frying pan in aisle 9, I might bring it up. I went to the grocery store today. I don't care. What else did you do today? It's just maintenance. I don't give a shit about those types of things. I don't want to hear about them anymore. I'm so unobservant of everything that's going around because I've got my list and I don't care. Mm-mm. I'm out working in the front yard and I hear some kind of talking or whatever. And I don't give a shit. I'm watering my plants. I'm picking up dog shit, whatever I'm doing. I'm raking. Maintenance.
And my wife is looking out the window and blah, blah, blah. She finally comes out and she's like, well, what happened? I said, what are you talking about? 50 feet from me, there are 2 cop cars at the intersection. Something happened. I am unaware. Radios and stuff. And my wife's getting on the network, on the home, whatever the website is for your neighborhood.
Oh, your next door neighbor bullshit. Yeah.
Sitting in the intersection. I'm on the corner house.
Why?
I don't want to know.
No.
That happens to me. That happened at 40. I think at 30, I didn't give a shit.
I still don't give a shit. Some ladies, there's a bunch of dogs go humming by my house one day. I'm in the front yard and I'm just watching them go by at 100 miles an hour. Some lady goes, didn't you see my dogs running by? They're loose. I got to catch them. I'm like, oh, okay. Sorry. I don't care. I just don't care. I'm the worst neighbor. I don't give a shit anymore about that stuff.
George, he tells me war stories. He's across the street, and he's an older fella and he walks his little dog and I'll be chit-chatting with him for 15 minutes. And then I'll come in and April goes, well, what were you guys talking about? I don't know. It's like asking your kid, like, what'd you do in school? Nothing. I come in completely blank. She's like, well, what's going on? And I said, I don't know. He was on some mission and he was on skis and he bandaged somebody. And it's George, I'm hanging out. Whatever. George is asking me if radio frequencies, because I'm in radio, if they will keep rodents away. And if you could have a radio frequency when you went camping and it would keep snakes away. And he's asking me to find out about that. I'm like, all right, George, I'll get on that. She wants to know what we're talking about. I said, I don't know. I don't care anymore. Frequencies? Do you really want to know? Because if you want to sit down, I'll tell you. Radio frequencies and rodents.
That's actually kind of cool. I kind of want to know about that too, right? Look into that because I'm with George on that one. If I can keep the snakes away from my house, that'd be cool. If I can turn the radio on, that would be very cool.
After you sent me that article, I pulled the things you should stop wearing at 40. You ready? Number one, clothes covered in logos. Okay. Class rings.
Who the fuck's wearing a class ring?
I never got one. I never got one in high school. I didn't get one in college.
No, I shouldn't have wasted my money.
I just didn't do it. It says here, you're not supposed to be wearing sports jerseys after 40. Sports jerseys, where are you at with this?
I've never been a fan of sports
Let's
jerseys.
assume you're not in the stadium, okay? You know, you dress up on game day. You really can't you can't really go busting on somebody if they're wearing a jersey. You know, it is weird if you're wearing a different team that's not even on the field.
That's weird.
But where are you at with sports jerseys not at a game?
If it's a non-sports event, if you're not going to a bar to watch a game or something like that, I mean, do your thing, do you? But I wouldn't do it personally. I'm not doing it. I'm not wearing sports jerseys just to go out and hang out for the night. It's just weird. They're uncomfortable. First of all, they're heavy as shit. It's hot. I'm not wearing those fucking things. It's just not me.
Baseball jerseys are different because they're buttoned down and you kind of feel like, you know, you're wearing a shirt,
right.
type of deal. But yeah,
it's never been into it.
Did you have a hockey jersey back in the day? Because you want to talk about the worst one. The hockey jersey is the worst one. They're always big, and whatever patch is on there is like a fucking bulletproof vest that doesn't bend at all.
No, it's like a frisbee.
When you bend over, yeah, like a manhole cover hits you in the face.
Yeah,
it'll like the logo will hit you. They're the worst jerseys to wear, and they're the coolest too.
Absolutely, especially in the wintertime. They keep you warm because they're always thick sweaters.
Jeans with holes in them. You can't wear those after 40.
No, you can. You can. But let's throw a little asterisk on that. It can't be the shit you bought like really pre-fucked up. You got to earn those holes. Like I got jeans that are worn out. I wear those. I don't go purposely buy that shit off the rack.
Okay.
Final thoughts, Rod. You got any final thoughts? Because I've got a good one.
Okay. I'm going to be a little shameless. This is my last week. We're raising money for backpacks. The shirt that I'm wearing right here, if you're watching us on the YouTube, in the sun, I feel as one. I stole that lyric from Kurt Cobain.
Good job.
So I stole the lyric. I stole the logo. I stole everything. Every one of my logos I rip off. And if I ever get busted, hey, it's for charity. We're raising money for backpacks for kids. My final thought wasn't so much about me, but I would love you to go to the Rod Ryan Show Cares online store. You can Google it. But we're passing out backpacks on Saturday morning. And I get all these people calling. We've never opened it up to the public. Come on down and help us out, pass out backpacks. We just can't. Just can't have all those people there. We already have a lot of volunteers.
Right.
So what I've been telling people is every single charity organization needs your help. I get it. It would be kind of cool to hang out with the morning show that you listen to and you hear you bought a t-shirt. You'd love to pass out a couple of backpacks and not opening it up to people. But what I did get across to people this week is everybody needs you the day after I pass out backpacks. And they need you the Saturday afterwards that I pass out backpacks. There are organizations out there, and I know they're in New Orleans as well. There's furniture banks. There's food banks. There, you know, the one that we work with a lot is Houston Children's Charity, and they do stuff all year round. This is just one of their programs. Right. So if you're so amped up, okay, to come out and sweat your ass off, because it's every time we hand out backpacks, it's the hottest day of the year. I said, I get it. You want to come and you want to hang out with us, but please take whatever motivation you had to even email me and ask me about it and go. And it doesn't cost you any money to give time, to donate your time. Every single charity would love for you to write a check, but right underneath that check, they need people to come in and help. Every charity out there needs you. So pick something that you're passionate about and cold call them. Can I come in on a Saturday for a couple of hours? I want to show my 14-year-old what it's like to give back. They're going to want you in there. The charities are going to make room for you. They need you. They just need you to be present and help them out.
I was going to say, Rod, you brought up that final thought about your charity. I was going to do the same thing and plug the fact that you're doing this amazing thing with your charity. And I know you are raising a lot of money through all the great listeners and people buying your shirts online and then passing out these backpacks. And you've been doing it for quite a few years. And I was going to just piggyback on that, you still can do volunteer work. You're going to wear the mask and they're going to put, they're going to ask you a bunch of questions. But you know what? Couple hours on a Saturday or whatever day of the week you go volunteer. I do stuff with Second Harvest Food Bank in New Orleans, and they kind of are all over Louisiana. And, I've done different events to raise money and then volunteering as well. So those are the types of places and they're everywhere. They're working, a holiday season. That's when everyone's like, oh, well, I should give to this because it's Thanksgiving, or I should give to that, which is because it's Christmas, which continue to do that. Those organizations are working 365 days a year, and they get all the help during the holidays. August, that's when you want to volunteer. You go in for an hour, help out, move some boxes. They just need hands to help move boxes or whatever the situation may be. But just check them out. There's a million charities right down the street from your house probably that you could go and lend a little bit of time. The money's great. They love the money. Don't get me wrong. The money helps a lot.
Yeah.
It is the volunteer hours. You see these lines for the food, people picking up food. That's got to get passed out somehow. Go stand around for an hour and help these people. So I was just going to tail end on your final thought, but you did that. Hot for Teacher, we're on the same wavelength, and then volunteering for any charities, that is same wavelength. There you go.
I had 2 Van Halen songs in my top 5. I don't think there's been a repeat of any top 5s of anything that we've ever done. I broke some sort of a weird, it's only going to get weirder now. I mean, there's never been 2 of something in one of our top 5s on anything that we've done.
No, that's true. And what's weird, we went a whole episode. I don't know if we brought up Kiss today. Did we? Did we bring up Kiss till just now? That might be the first ever.
So Gene's doing artwork now.
Here we go. There we go. There it is.
So I haven't seen any of it yet. A friend of mine does radio in Vegas, and he said he's got the press release. He is got the interview time and everything with Gene Simmons. And I said, well, what does the stuff look like? And he said, it's not included. You can't see going in what his stuff looks like. Don't you? It's like when they hold back press screenings of movies. They don't want the bad press, so they just skip the press and they just put the movie out. Why isn't Gene putting something on his invitation of just a picture of one of his paintings? I am kind of interested to see. Paul's stuff is not bad. I don't know if you've seen any of the Paul Stanley stuff.
Paul's pretty good. Yeah, his stuff's cool.
He did. Who's that old guy that does the interviews now? He did a really good interview with Paul, and it talked about his painting. He's a Texas guy too. He worked at the radio station down the hall.
Jesus.
Dan Rather.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. Dan Rather. Yeah. He does a great
Dan Rather interviews anybody. I mean, he interviews, rock guys, everything. And he did an interview with Paul, and Paul's paintings are really good. Why would Gene go in that direction? Let Paul have that, please.
That's yours.
Can you let Paul have that on his own?
Dude, speaking of artwork, this is really kind of an odd thing that you segued right into this. This is perfect. We do think alike a lot of times. So I'm staying at this beach house, right? And you get your seashells and all your artwork on the walls, right? So
you got Amy Mann behind you.
Apparently, I got some Amy Mann shit behind me in the bedroom downstairs. Now, a lot of times you'll have like a big wide open space, your living room and your island, where you can sit and have your breakfast nook, big open space. So there's artwork on the walls, and on the main wall, it's like right between the kitchen and the wide open space. So anywhere you walk downstairs in the main living area, you're going to see this painting. I took it off the wall because I had to show you.
This has been sitting there the whole time?
Yeah, dude, this is a painting I'm showing on YouTube. So you got to watch our YouTube channel. Look out for @PlayPantsPod. That is
what the fuck? That's the Horizon. That's the platform that blew up.
This is a painting. Somebody painted this. It is an oil rig out in the ocean. Where they're drilling for oil in the water. And this looks like it must be the Horizon that killed like 12 poor dudes a couple years ago.
Mark Wahlberg made a movie about it.
Yes, it's a very good movie actually. And this is hanging up. This is like the main piece of art in their house that we're renting. It's a it's a fucking oil rig on fire, and there's smoke, and the water, the ocean is like blood red. And
what's in the bathroom? The fucking Twin Towers going down, painted with airplanes going through them. I mean, is this the only piece of horrific artwork? Is there a series of these?
There's I'm not gonna name names because that's just mean, but there's a dedication on the back, and it's signed by the artist. Somebody bought.
Why would you want that? I mean, is it a tribute to somebody? Are we being assholes right now? Whose house are you staying in?
If you had somebody who was involved in that, who passed away, maybe you don't want that hanging up as a reminder, as a piece of art.
Okay, you lose somebody in the Twin Towers.
You don't
9/11,
want Twin Towers.
You're not getting a painting of a plane going into that building.
You're just not.
What you're showing me is no,
dude. Like we took it down because there's kids running around, and they kept asking, "What is that?" I'm like,
forget it.
I don't know.
Oh, what's that in the corner? It looks like Charles Manson carving up Sharon Tate.
Yeah.
Oil painting.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ. Where the hell are you renting this from?
I don't know, man. I can't wait to get back home in my own home studio with good internet connection. I just can't wait.
Well, when were you going to bust out that painting? You had it sitting there the whole time. I brought up paintings, and then when were you going to bring that out?
I surround myself in my room with any possible thing you bring up. I've got a visual aid.
Here's all the props. You never know where Rod's going, so I got to have stuff ready to go. You're like Carrot Top. You know, you got a big trunk of crap over there.
No, what's weird is like you're doing this nice bit about your backpacks and the charity, and I'm like, well, I can't bust out a fucking painting of a burning oil rig after that. So I'll tamp it down. I won't do that. But then you brought up paintings. I'm like, well, now I can bring it back around. But yeah, I wasn't going to end on that. I was like, oh, let's go out on a nice note with a couple of lads talking about charity work. This is sweet, And then I was still able to pull it off. This is great. I've been thinking about this for 2 days. I'm like, I put that everyone's asking me, you going to show the painting on the podcast? I'm like, I don't know. I'll probably not. I did.
But just in case Rod brings up painting, then that'll be my relatable.
That was weird. That just worked out, dude. I don't know how that works. Anyway, that's enough for tonight. I can't take it anymore.
That is creepy AF. I just want to be on record as saying that.
And you know what? You love art. Hang up your shit. I've been to plenty of art galleries over the years. You like what you like. That's okay. But this painting of people being blown to bits, it seems a little bit weird to me.
Yeah.
It just seems tasteless.
Hey guys, I've been emailing back a lot of people that have just been emailing stuff about the show. And then I'm always getting a little plug-in for the podcast. And so many people are saying, no, dude, I listen. So I don't know if you're listening and if you're not subscribing and if you don't want to subscribe, I don't care. But if you're listening, if you're watching on YouTube, if you can subscribe or click like or give us a comment or leave us one of your top 5 lists or something like that. Let us know that you're breathing, you're living, you're checking this stuff out. If you think it sucks, tell us it sucks. If you have comments about things that you would like us to talk about, any feedback is good feedback. All right. So we're still trying to figure this thing out. Next podcast will be number 20. We haven't missed a week yet. So 19 weeks in a row, we've been doing this.
That's hard to believe. And you know what? When you start looking at numbers like 19, it doesn't sound like a lot, but it's 19 weeks. That's where it gets weird. Like we've been doing this fucking 19 weeks. God, it feels like 200.
Yeah. Wild.
Anyway, all right.
So smash that subscribe button and leave us some comments and like it and all that stuff. We kind of need to know that you guys are still digging this. All right.
Awesome.
Let's go. It's time. Put on pants.
Find us wherever you listen to podcasts. See us on our YouTube channel and follow our social media pages at PlayPantsPod.